Hi, welcome to my channel Ruby Ne Crochet Tejido. Today I'll be teaching you how to make this beautiful hat for those Simpson lovers. I hope you guys like it and give it a try, and here is the list of material you're gonna need to make it. If you are not already a subscriber, please subscribe and click on the little bell. That way you get notification each time I upload a video. Remember, I always make my videos in Spanish and English. If you receive a Spanish video and you wanted to see in English, go to the main page of my YouTube channel that you'll find the English version in there. Also, you can send me a message and I can send you the link. By the way, I always leave at the end of the video a link of one of my playlists, and that playlist is all my English tutorial. If you don't see my last tutorial, it's this beautiful hat. It's a Minecraft hat for those Minecraft lovers. At the end of the video, I leave you the link as well. For this design, these are the material I'm gonna use. Beforehand, I want to apologize for the sound of my voice. I've been sick for a while. I had a nasty cold and a horrible cough, and my throat is really raspy and my voice sounds horrible, but I feel much better. I still have a little bit of a cough, but I have to record some tutorials and my voice sounds horrible, but I will try my best to explain everything, that way you guys can understand everything that I'm gonna do. So for this hat, I'm gonna use this for the main color. It's the Loops and Thread Impeccable Medium 4 100% acrylic. The color is burgundy. These are for the design in the center. The Loops and Thread Impeccable Yellow, white, gray, and then I have this Red Heart Super Saver. I don't have any impeccable red, so I have to use this, but I'm only gonna use this for a bit, for a few stitches, so that's okay to use different yarn as long as they are medium 4. You're gonna need a row or round counter or a piece of paper, pen, or pencil to keep track of your rows. This time I'm gonna work with a straight needle. I have tons of followers that they don't know how to knit with circular needle, or they don't have circular needles, and they've been asking me to work with the straight needles. So it's been years and years since I done a hat with a straight needle, so let's see what happened. So these one are a 4.5 millimeter. You're gonna need measurement tape, tapestry needle, and scissor. And the design that I'm gonna do is this one from the Simpson. So I had to, since I'm gonna do just one big one in the center, I had to work back and forth. So that's another reason that I had to work with a straight needle, because I don't want to bring the design all the way around the hat, and it's more difficult to bring all those strands back and forth in order all the way around in order to work. It's easier back and forth. So this is what we're gonna do, and I will try my best explaining everything the way you guys can understand, even with my voice sounding like a man. I don't gonna laugh too much. I'm gonna leave a picture of the graph in my Facebook page Ruby Ne Crochet Tejido, and in my Instagram Ruby Ne Crochet Tejido. Also, I'm gonna bring it closer. Just in case you're using your cell phone, you can take a screenshot. So it's from row 1, stitch 1 to 23, the one that I'm gonna create the design, and it's 30 rows. So some we're gonna work back and forth. I have here row 1, and in here row 2, and then in here row 3, and back and forth like that to create this design on our hat. So I did 2 balls, or another ball plus this one, to work the hat, because since I'm gonna work back and forth with one ball, I will work into here. I do the color work, and with the other one I will work the other side of the hat. When I turn my work around with this color, I will stop working with this one, do the color work, and I start with the next one the other side. So you're gonna grab the one with the most to start the casting on. I'm gonna grab this one, and then the other I'll put it aside until I have to use it for the color work. Now I'm gonna leave a tail long enough to cast on my stitches. I'm gonna cast on from 88 to 90 stitches. This is the tail. I'm gonna do a slip knot. And you don't have a straight needle, you have circular needle, you can do it in a circular needle, just work back and forth. But I just want to do the full effect of a straight needle. I have this beautiful set that my dear friend Maria Ruiz sent me as a gift. I still don't use nothing on this side, but I have used from the other side here the straight needle, these beautiful bamboo needles. So you're gonna cast them from 88 to 90 stitches for adult, and if you want this for a kid, you cast on less stitches, as long as multiple of 2 for the border. Remember, you just need 23 stitches for the color work, and the rest is this color. Once you finish casting on, you're gonna do a knot to secure the first stitch, and if you're gonna do a 1 by 1 rib with 90 is fine, but if you're gonna do a 2 by 2 rib, you have to have 88 or 92 because it has to be multiple of 4. So I'm gonna do a 1 by 1. I like better the look of the 1 by 1 rib and the hats, so that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna do 1 net 1 purl, and now the width of the brim, that depends on you. So if you want a single brim, you will do around 2.5 inches for an adult, like this. If you want a double brim, is the one that you're going to fold in half. You're going to do from 5 to 6 inches. And if it's for a kid, well, for William, I usually do around the same as an adult. I like it nice and warm around the ear, because here in Canada the winter is very cold, so I like it nice and warm. And if for a younger kid, you can do from 1.5 to 3 to 4 inches for folded in half. So you have to measure around the width that you want for that border. So I just give you a, a choice. So for me, I'm gonna do a double brim. I like it nice and warm. So I'm gonna do the 1 by 1 for 5 to 6 inches. I finished the first row, and I forgot to give you in centimeters just in case you don't have a measurement tape with inches. I know my Spanish people, most of them, they always have just centimeter. So 2.5 inches is 6.5 centimeter, and 5 inches is 13 centimeters. So you're gonna work, if you're doing double brim, from 13 to 15 centimeter. For a folded brim. If it's single, from 6.5 if it's for adult. So I finished with the purl. Now I'm gonna start exactly the same as I start the first row, with 1 net, because the back of the purl is a net stitch. So I start with 1 net and finish with the purl, and again I start with a net and will finish with the purl. And like that, I'm going to continue working until I have the desired length for the border of the hat or brim. I finished the border or brim, and I did 25 rows, and a measure of 5.5 inches, 14 centimeters. Now I have 2 markers here. We're gonna mark the 23 stitches in the middle, well, as close as the middle as I can. That way the sign is right in the center, the color work. I'm gonna do 34 on one side, 23 in the center, and 33 on the other side. Since I have an odd number for the center, I will end up with an odd number for the side, because I have 90 stitches. So what we're gonna do we're gonna knit those 34 stitches, place a marker, start counting the stitches for row 1, and then after we finish those 23 stitches, we place the marker and continue with the color with the next ball and the other side. Because remember, we have all these around the color work that don't have any color is because it's the color of the hat, all these. So you have to have a marker, that way you know when you're working to count with a color work graph. If you're making this smaller, you have to leave 23 in the center, so the other rest of the stitches that you have, you divide it in two, so it will be one half for one side and the other half for the other one. So you will do those, the half, place a marker, work on those 23, and then place the marker. So now I'm gonna knit my 34 stitches, and then I will meet you here to start placing the marker and start with the color work. I have my 34 stitches, so I'm gonna knit 6. I'm gonna trap my gray, and here in Intarsia knitting is more complicated to be trapping tails. So I have 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we're gonna work with the gray, leaving a tail to secure later long enough. You're gonna come here, and the tail has to be on this side. You're gonna knit 1. I had to do 2 gray. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna pass this one to this side, because this one have to be sorry, I did it the wrong way, through the top. This one had to be on top of the gray in order to close the gap in between the two stitches, that way in the way back we don't have a hole. So always the working yarn that you're going to work with, the working color, had to be under the one you're going to leave behind. So you see, when I work in here, that one is strapped. So I'm finished with this one. I can put it out of the way, and I have my 2 gray stitches. Now I'm gonna work with the red. I had to do 9 with the red. I'm gonna bring the red, sorry. I'm gonna work the red in here. Again, leaving the tail and this side long enough. I'm gonna do 1 red. I'm gonna bring the gray on top to the other side. Make sure you don't get a mess like I just did. Okay, to this side. And top again. You see? And this is the working yarn, this is the gray, but the gray we had to carry it that way anyway, but you see, you're gonna have a gap in between these 2 stitches. So you have 2, 3, I'm gonna open those 3, I'm gonna trap the gray in between the needles, I'm gonna wrap with the red, lift the gray, and do number 4, 5, 6, I'm going to open again, and I'm going to do the same. I'll put the gray in between the needle, take it out, 7, 8, and 9. Now I have to do 1 gray and 3 red. I'm gonna open those. I'm gonna do 1 gray. It's like I'm gonna do it with one hand, with the same hand. I'm gonna do, because it's make it different, 1 gray. Now I'm gonna do 1, 2, and 3 red. Now I have to do 1 gray and 1 at the main color. So I'm gonna grab the gray. I'm gonna do a gray. You see the red strap there? And then come with the main color again, leave a tail, and the one the main color, pass your marker, and you're gonna come here, and remember this one had to be under the stitch that you're gonna leave behind. So let me move the tail out of the way. You see? The gray is here, and this one is under. And I'm gonna come here and work. Leave the gray, and continue with this one. Net the rest of your stitches, and purl on the way back until you get to this marker. And here you have your 23 stitches with no gap in between the color change. So I finished all those purl. Now I had to work the color work. And I'm gonna pass the marker. Now I have to do row 2 of the main color, and this is purl. 3 gray, 10 red, 1 gray, and the rest of the main color. I have to do 2 on the main color. Now I'm going to pass it this way. Now I'm going to work 3 gray. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Pass it to this side. I leave this one behind. Now I'm gonna grab the red. The red is all the way down here, and I had to do 10. So that's 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna trap the gray. I'm gonna bring the gray here, wrap as to purl. I'm gonna wrap this one. I'm gonna lift this one out, and I'm gonna purl that one. And then you can bring it down again. And you're gonna purl the next one. You see, a strap and here. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna do the same in 7. So you're gonna bring the gray, you're gonna wrap the red, you're gonna take out the gray and you purl that one, and then you bring it down and strap again, and then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. You're going to open those stitches. You're going to leave this one here, and you're going to do 1 gray, make sure that you leave enough space, and now the rest is with the main color. So you're going to grab the main color and you're going to bring them under and up. That way you trap those 2 strands with this. And I'm going to do the rest with this one. Purl all the way until the end, and then you come back in row 3 with a net row, and you're going to net until the marker. Now I'm going to work on number 3, and you have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 at the main color, 1 gray, 3 red, 3 gray, 4 red, 1 gray, and 3 at the main color, plus the rest to the other side of net, and then you go back with purl. So I had to do 8 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, and 8. I have to work with the gray. Make sure that it's not the tail. You have to pull this one a little bit because it's a little bit loose. And you're gonna grab the gray. The only thing about working like this is you have to be moving the yarn around, because you can get them tangled up, and you have to have them in the right place. So you have to pass this one. Let me grab the gray. It's under here, on the wrong side of the red. Yeah. So you have this one that you've just finished working, and then you have the gray. So you have to bring the gray under that one. You see this one in the top. Always the one that you finish, that you're going to leave behind, you put it like that, and this one under, and this one in the top. That way you get trapped and you don't get a hole in between those 2 stitches. So it's 1 gray, 3 red. Now you leave that one in here, and this is the gray. So you have to grab the red and bring it under that gray. You see, the gray will be in between and here. You left that one in here. Let me move it out of the way. You see, that one don't need to be trapped by the red, only the gray. That is the one you take in that way. So you see, it's in between the stitches and you don't want to get a hole. That's 1, 2, and 3. You're going to open those 3 stitches. You see, you leave the red, grab the gray under, and do 1, 2, 3 gray, You know, you have to play around with this because this work is more advanced work. And don't get intimidated. Once you get going, how to flip the where to put the half the yarn, the strands, is easy. You see, this one is here, you keep it there, and when you come with the red, that will get trapped. And you will do 1, 2, 3, and 4. You see, you leave the red, you grab the gray under, and then the red stay there. And when you come and do your work with the gray, you stitch, the red is all the way there. So now we have to do the rest with the main colors. You grab this one and you bring here in between the gray and the red. You see, you bring the gray on top and this one under, and you do your stitch. You leave the gray there and you continue, and make sure that always you leave enough space in behind, that way your stitch have a nice stretch when you put your hat on. And now you will continue working the rest net until the end and purl in the way back until the marker, and we only have one more row with the red, a few stitches, and then we change to the yellow. Here I finished those purls. Now I pass the marker. Now I cut the red, leaving a tail just to do the 2 stitches that I have to do, and to leave a tail to secure later, because we done in this one with the red, we only had to do 2 stitches, and we're going to start working with the yellow as well. So we're going to do 4 at the main color, 1 gray, 2 red, 1 at the gray, and then 3 yellow, 3 gray, and then the rest of the main color. So I have to do 4 with this. And 4. I'm gonna pull the gray a little bit to make the stitch a regular size, and then you have to bring this in this side of the gray and the gray under. You always have to do that. You have to be patient when you're doing this. You're gonna do 1 gray. I pull the red to make the stitch a little bit smaller. You leave that one there. You don't need that one. And you see, you pass this one and this side of the red, and the red go underneath. Once you get going, once you know how to switch the color, it'll be easier. So now you're gonna do 2 with the red. You put on this side, and then now with the gray, you're gonna do 1, and you leave it here, and you're done with the red. Now you're gonna grab the yellow, leaving a tail to secure later. You're gonna do 3 yellow. So that's 1, 2, and 3. You're gonna leave it here, and then you're gonna grab the gray. You see the tail? I leave the tail there to secure it that way later. And with the yellow under and the gray on top, make sure that you leave enough space in between the stitches with the gray. You're gonna do 1, 2, and 3. You leave the gray, and then you bring this one under. I need to do a ball with this one, it's falling apart. And you're gonna do the rest. You see, trapping the gray in here. You're gonna do the rest. Until the end, and then you come back with the net till the marker. Now in number 5, you're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of the main color, 1 gray, 6 yellow, 2 gray, and the rest at the end of the main color. And this is a net row. Two, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, and 9. You put this one in this side, grab the gray, make sure that it's not tangled up with any other one, because you're working with these two. And you see, I always hold this one to make the strand not too long in between. And grab the gray, and I do my gray stitch. I leave that one. I can pass this one this way because I'm not going to need it there anymore. And then I'm going to grab the yellow. You see, if you don't keep them tangled up, it's very easy. And always this one in the top, the new one is under, and you're going to do 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I had to, and you see that yellow? That's the tail that is loose. Once you fix it, it's perfect. So that's only 6 stitches. I don't need it to trap the gray, but if it's more, I have to trap it because we're gonna have to trap in this one. You see how long the yellow. So in this one, because it's only 6 stitches. So I'm gonna grab the gray, and you see the space of the red is nice and loose, and that's because the strand is loose in there. And later when you secure that red this way, it'll be perfect. So you leave the yellow in here, and then you grab the gray, and you're gonna do 2 gray, 1 and 2. You pass this one under. You see, once you get going, it's much easier when you know what you're doing. And you're gonna come here, and you're gonna do the rest on a stitch. And you'll have to move your stitches around, and then you're gonna net all the way until the end, and then you're gonna go back and row 6 with a purl row until the marker, and then we'll continue. You see this little hole is because the red is loose, and we have to close the hole with that tail. Number 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are the main color, 1 gray, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 yellow, 2 gray, and the rest of the main color. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Pass this one and this one under to close that gap in between the stitches. One of the gray plus the gray. Put this one out of the way, and then you're gonna bring the yellow under the gray. And now you're gonna do 8 of the yellow. 1, 2. I'm gonna trap the gray here. Move them out of the way. 4, 5. I'm gonna trap the gray again. It's under. Wrap as to net, wrap the yellow, move out the gray. That's it, move the gray out of the way. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now with the gray, open those stitches, come here. Two gray. Now the gray on the top part, and with the main color, with the yellow out of the way. With the main color, we're gonna do the rest. Purl all the way until the end. And that's number 6. For number 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the main color, 1 gray, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 yellow, 1 gray, and the rest of the main color. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this 6 of this color, and then I will measure here to change to the gray. I have my 6. I'm gonna bring this one in this side, bring the gray under. I'm gonna do my gray stitch, and I'm gonna move this one out of the way. This one was the messy bowl. I had to do a cake. I cut the jar in order because I had a huge mess in there. So I'm gonna bring the yellow. I'm gonna work with the yellow under the gray. Leave that one there. I had to do 10 yellow, and the 10 will be on top of this one here because we are working until number 10 is nice and straight in the side here. So you see, I'm gonna trap in the gray, 2, 3, and 4. I'm gonna open this 4 because the strand is really long in the back to do 10 with the yellow and leaving the gray. So I'm gonna wrap. I'm gonna place it in between the 2 needles, wrap, lift that one up, and strap, and I'll continue with the next stitches until I get to the last yellow. Now I'm gonna put the yellow here, open those stitches. I'm gonna do the gray, and then I'm gonna wrap, leave the yellow, grab this one under the gray, make sure it's not wrapped in your stitch marker, and you're gonna continue with this one all the way until the end, and come back with a row of purl until the marker. I'm gonna work on number 8, 5 of the main color, 1 gray, 6 yellow, 9 gray, and 2 of the main color. I already done this, and I have to undo quite a few rows because I didn't like the way it was looking, and I was pulling in the back, and I decided to trap more stitches or the gray as I work. That way it will be easier. So I only repeating this, recording again the wrong side of the piece because in the right side it was perfect. So I have my 5. I'm gonna bring the gray up, and when you do this change of color, you have to make sure that they are very close to each other. That way you don't get a gap. That's what happened before when I was working, that I didn't like the way it was looking when I changed to the gray and the yellow. So now you bring the yellow, you see very close, bring this one up to close that gap, I'm gonna do 1 and 2 yellow. Now I'm gonna trap the gray, and before what I did, I have a very long space and I was pulling, so I wrap the gray, I wrap the yellow, take out the gray and then pass the yellow through, then leave the gray on the top there. So I did 1, 2 and 3 more. I'm gonna trap again. You see, I bring it under the yellow just to trap. I wrap the yellow, I lift the gray, and then I leave the gray out of the way. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm gonna trap again. 9. Now we're gonna switch, and the one that we're gonna trap is the yellow, because we have 9 stitches and the yellow is all the way here on the front, so we have to trap the yellow as we work. So since we're switching color, the yellow is in the lower part, the gray is on the top, and that's 1. I'm gonna do 2. And number 3, wrap the yellow, wrap the gray, lift the yellow out. That's 3. Four. I'm gonna trap at number 5 again. And 5. I did something wrong. I did too many yellow. Yellow there were 6 and I did more. I did 9. Sorry about that. I have the excuse that I'm sick. Sorry about that. Well, it gave me the chance to show you how to undo a few stitches. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And there we go. One. But the concept is still the same, trapping as we work. Three, 4, 5. I'm gonna pull this. You see the separation? Pull this close. Here I'm gonna trap. And I'm gonna pull that again. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna trap again the yellow. Eight. 8 and 9. You see, it's not pulling because you have your trap there. So now we're going to work with this one. This one's all the way down here, and you're going to work like so. Make sure you have a good tension there. Your 2 purl. You're going to pass the marker, and you're going to continue purl all the way until the end and go back with the knit until the marker, and then we'll be working number 9. One of this color, pass it over, right under to close the gap, 1 gray. But now we had to do our 15 yellow, but we had to trap the gray. Move that one out of the way. The yellow under the gray, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm gonna open those 5, and then I'm gonna trap the gray in between the needles, wrap the yellow, lift up out the gray, and then you trap. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm gonna trap it in 11. You're gonna open those stitches again, and then here again in between the needles, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Now we have to trap the yellow, pass the yellow in the side, and grab the gray and do that gray stitch. Open those, that way you don't have a tight stitch in the back. And then you only have to make sure that the ones that you finish working, you move them out of the way, and the one that you just did a stitch, the last stitch, you put it under or on top, and this one under, the new one under, and then you close that gap. Now you're gonna work all the way until the end with this color, and come back with the pro row, and it's exactly the same repetition. Right now don't look like much because you finished doing the mouth, and we're doing this part of the upper lips, the long upper lips. Number 10 is exactly like 9, 5, 1, 15, 1, and 1. So you're going to work the color exactly in the same spot that they are, and don't trap your strand exactly in the same spaces from the row before, because and then you're going to see it on the right side. 1, 4, and 5. So bring this one to the side. I'm going to work the gray. Make sure that these two stitches are pretty much very close, touching each other, that way you don't get a separation in between them. And you want to pull this, and you want to move this one out of the way. You're going to do the switch to the yellow now. This one in the top, the yellow on the bottom, and the 1. I'm gonna do 2. Now I'm gonna trap the gray, 3, 4, and 5. I'm gonna trap it again. Open all these stitches, that way you get a nice strand in between. You wrap that one, wrap the next one, take out of the gray. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to trap again. And I'm going to trap again. and the last yellow. I have now the gray. Open those three with the gray. You want to do your gray stitch. Pass the gray in this side, and now with this one, put those two stitches together. And then you're gonna purl. Pass your marker and continue purl until the end, and net all the way back to the marker for row number 11. Now in 11, 2 of the main color, 1 gray, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 of the yellow, 1 gray, 1 yellow, 1 gray, and the rest of the main color. So we're going to work 2. The stitch. This one on this side. I have a tangle here. Oh no, I'm okay. One of the gray, all the yellow, leave that one behind, the gray and top of the yellow. And now we're gonna do 13. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna open those 5 to trap my gray. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Open the stitches. I'm gonna trap the gray again. 10, 11, 12, and 13. I'll open those. I'm gonna do 1 gray, 1 yellow. See how I switch them? Always the one that I don't gonna work with in the top and the one that I'm working with under. 1 gray. And now with the yellow, grab the main color and work. You see, you have to pull it a little bit because that stitch was a little bit open, and then you're going to work the rest with this one. You're going to go back with a row of purl until the marker, and I will meet you here to show you row 12. And in 13 we're going to start adding the white for the eyeball. For number 12, 3 of the main color, 1 gray, 1 yellow, 1 gray, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 yellow, 1, 2, 3, 4 gray, 1, 2 yellow, 3 gray, and the rest of the main color. 1, 2, and 3. Change color, the gray under. The stitch is nice and close. 1 gray. Move this one out of the way. Now we're going to do a yellow. Pass the gray on top and the yellow under. Now we're going to do 1 gray. Now we're going to do 6 yellow. I'm going to do 1, 2, and I'm going to trap the gray. Remember, we had to carry the gray. That's 3, 4, 5. I'm going to trap it again, the last one. But I don't want to have that long strands, because let me tell you, I already undid those 12 rows. I already had it, and I have to frog everything because I was pulling and didn't look right. I have 2. I'm going to trap the yellow. Three. 4. 2 yellow, 1 and 2, 3 gray, 1, 2 and 3. Now this one under, gray in the top, see, like this, and that's to close that gap. And you're gonna do the rest purl, come back to the net, to the marker, and I will meet you here for number 13. And before, when I was doing this, it was pulling here a lot, and this look separated in the stitches, didn't look right, and then I have to fix them because it was pulling this in here. So it's taking the shape. Now for 13, to make things or matter more interesting, we're gonna add another color, the white, for the eyeball. So I'm gonna work 1 at the main color, 1 gray for yellow, 1 gray for white, 1 gray for yellows, 1 gray, 2 yellow, 1 gray, and the rest of the main color. So 1 in the main color, grab the gray, close the gap in between the stitches. You're gonna do 1 gray, this one in here, grab the yellow, 4 yellow, I'm gonna do 1 and 2, I'm gonna trap the gray, make sure it's not too tight. So 4 yellow, 1 gray. Now I'm going to work with a white. So it's 4 whites. Leave a tail to lose later, or even secure. Now here I'm gonna trap these two. I'm gonna put it in between. Three and 4 white. You're gonna leave the white. You have to be patient with this. If you want to do something as amazing as this, you have to be patient. Remember, Rome wasn't built in one day. So I had to do one gray. The yellow as well. I'm going to leave the white. Now I'm going to change to the yellow. Pass the gray to this side and leave the white behind. So I had to do 4 yellow. I'm going to do 1 and then number 2. I'm going to open this. I'm going to trap 3, 4, I'm going to work 1 with a gray, 2 yellow, 1 and 2, 1 gray, and now with this one, close the gap in between, and you're going to finish netting all the way until the end and come back with purl until the marker, and we'll work in number 14. We start to work on the eyeballs, and you look in here, I start to look a little bit the same. Look at the mouth, it's perfect. Number 14, for the main color, 2 gray, 4 yellow, 1 gray, 6 white, 1 gray, 3 yellow, 1 gray. So we had to bring the yellow all the way here, and then after we only work with the yellow here, but we had to bring it back from here all the way back in order to work, but that will show you in the next row. So 1, 2, 3 and 4, close the gap, set this one in this side, you grab the gray, you do your 2 gray, you have to be very patient with this. This is not just to make it like, you have to be very patient. This takes time. So now after you do your 2 gray, we're gonna grab the yellow. We have to do 4 yellow, so we're gonna do 1. I'm gonna pull this a little, and 2. I'm gonna trap the gray, 3, make sure that you don't see, 4, I'm gonna trap it again in 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, no, and 5. I don't need to do 5. It's only 4. 5 is gray. Sorry about that. So after you do your gray, you have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with the white, and the white's all the way here, so we have to bring these two that way. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna pass the yellow and the gray on top of the white. Move the white this way, and I'm gonna trap those two in here to close those cups. That's 1 and 2. This time I'm gonna trap those two colors in between. Three. When you trap, the color that you're working has to be in the top. Four. I'll do it again. And number 5. And 6. And then with the white. Patient, my friends. So I'm done with the white. Now I have to do one gray, so I'm gonna separate the gray from the rest. I just passed it the wrong way. Patient, 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 patient. Remember, I'm sick. So this way. So now I have to do one gray. To do 3 yellow. 1. I'm gonna trap the gray in number 2. You don't have to, but I like to. And 3. Now you're going to do one gray. And now the rest and the main color. Until the end. You're going to go back with a net row till the marker, and I will meet you here for number 15. We're halfway at the color work. Number 15, one of the main color, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gray, 1, 2, 3, 4 white, 1 gray, 1 white, 1 gray, 5 white, yellow, 1 gray, and the rest of the main color. If you like, you can cut the yellow and bring it all the way here and start all over, but I'm gonna bring it all the way there. What's the point in cutting it? But that's a suggestion. I'm going to do one of the main color. One gray. Out of the way. 2. I'm going to trap the yellow as I go. 3, 4, 5, I'm gonna grab these two. I'm gonna grab the white. Exactly the same as I did before. You see these two colors, grabbing them together, closing the gap. Now, three, 4, one gray, and these two, you see, over, and the white under to close the gap. One white, and now I have to bring the yellow on top of the gray in order to close the gap and bring the yellow closer. One gray. So let me move these things around before they tangle up too much. I will do that after. So I'm gonna leave the white behind, and now I'm gonna grab the yellow. I have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yellow. That's 1, 2, 3, and 5. I'm gonna grab the gray, one gray, leave the yellow, and grab the main color and work the rest until the end. Number 16, 4 main color, 1 gray, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yellow, 1 gray, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 white, 1 gray, 3 white, 1 gray, and the rest of the main color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yellow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I have to do 1 gray and leave the yellow there until the way back. Now switch to the white. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna trap on 5 again. You don't have to trap as many times as I am doing, but just I don't want to have this tail too long in here. 6. One gray. Three whites. 1, 2, and 3. One gray. And now we're gonna do the rest with the main color. I think this video is gonna be a little bit on the long side because I'm trying to explain every detail of the color work. The rest is net and pearl, but the color work is the one that, you know, we have to do a little bit more work. I got to work at number 17, 1 main color, 1 gray, 1 white, 1 gray, 2 white, 1 gray, 5 white, 1 gray, 5 yellow, 1 gray, and the rest with the main color. So 1 with the main color. You're gonna hear background noise. William is home, everybody's home. Today is Sunday, so family's over. So I'm gonna leave this one in here. I'm gonna use the white now. And I'm gonna do 1 white. Now 1 gray, and you see always the one that you're going to use is under the one that you are not using. See, now I pass the gray on top and grab the white. To white. And now 1 gray. Remember, leave a strand long enough for the stitch to have movement. And now I'm gonna do 5 whites. So I'm gonna do 1 and 2. I'm gonna trap the gray, that way the strand is not too long. And 5, change to gray, and you see, close the gap with the white. And now I'm gonna leave the white and grab the yellow. Always closing the gap in between the stitches. 1 and 2. I'm gonna trap the gray again. I'm gonna change to the gray. And now leave the yellow and change to the main color. And knit the rest with the main color. And go back with purl onto the marker, and I'll meet you here for number 18. Number 18, 3 of the main color, 1 gray, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 yellow, 1 gray, 4 white, 1 gray, 4 white, 1 gray, and the rest with the main color. And this is the last row that we want to work with the white. So after you finish this, you can cut and leave it there. So that's 3. One gray. One, 2, I'm going to trap the gray a little bit closer. 3, 4, 5. I'm going to trap it again. 6 and 7. One gray. One, 2, 3, 4. You see I didn't trap in those 4. I'm gonna do one gray, four more white, one gray, and we're done with the white. And you're going to continue with the main color, go back with the net until the marker, and I'll meet you here to work in number 19. And I'm going to cut the white. Number 19, 2 of the main color, 4 gray, 1 yellow, 4 gray, 8 yellow, 1 gray, and the rest of the main color. One, and 2, and the white is loose there. You have to hold it. 1, 2, 3. Now before we do number 4, our yellow is all the way out here, so we have to bring it closer. You see, it's all the way here. We have to bring it in here to do the stitch. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pass it here in between the gray, just to have it behind. Otherwise, you can make the next stitch. I already tried, and it didn't work. You see, now you have the yellow on this side, and you can do the stitch in yellow. Now you grab the gray, and you're gonna do 4 gray, and now open those 4, that way the yellow is not too short. And you're gonna do 8 yellow, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to trap the gray. No, I can't because I have the 4. I'm going to trap it here. Seven and 8. Now we're going to change to the gray. And now to the main color. And you're going to continue working until the end. Come back with a pearl, and I will meet you here to work on number 20. I'm gonna work on number 23 at the main color, 1 gray, 15 yellow, 1 gray, and the rest of the main color. And I'm gonna explain everything in this row, how you're gonna trap in the back, and in the next row, number 21. And then after, you can guide yourself by the graph, because I know for sure the video is super long, because I'll be explaining every detail how to change color in this color work here. So here is just trapping and counting how many at the main color, and the front and the back, and doing the yellows and the gray and here. Very easy. This is the easiest part. So I know the video is super long, but I tried to give every single detail. So 1, 2, and 3. We're going to change to the gray. Make sure that it's nice and close. Now we're going to change to the yellow, and we had to do 15, so we had to trap as we go the gray. Yes, we have 15. And remember, the trick is not to trap the strand exactly in the same spot as the row before. Otherwise, you can see it on the other side. And to trap, always you have to bring this one, when you're in the pearl, from the bottom of the working color, you wrap the working color, and you take this one out. Make sure that you take it out, and then you do that stitch. And then you bring that one back again to the top, to the side there. In the back, and you continue with this one. 1, 2, open those stitches. You're going to trap again, you see, under. I wrap that one again, and then take that one out of the way. And you see, it's trapped in there in the stitch. Those. We're having some freezing rain today. Very bad weather. And I think I have my 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now you keep the yellow in here, and then open those stitches and work your gray stitch. Lift the yellow, grab this one, and then we're gonna do the rest with the main color. Again, you will work all the way until the end, and you see how even that is in here going up. The same on the other side here, except when you have a stitch that go further than the other. So you'll continue from all the way until the end, and knit all the way back to the marker. I will show you that row, and then you can continue with the yellow by yourself. But we're done, guys. It start to look exactly the same as the graph. Oh my goodness. This is my first time doing a color work like this with a straight needle. I'm learning, and at the same time I'm teaching you guys, but it look, oh my goodness, it look exactly. I'm very happy so far with the design, how it look. So now we're gonna work in number 21, and I'm gonna show you how you're gonna work in here. The rest you can continue guiding yourself by the graph, because it's pretty much straightforward, the same. The only thing that you have to count how many stitches, especially when you start from the net side, you have to count how many empty square here. The white here is the main color, so you always have to count from the number how many you have to do, and the same in the way back, because once you do, for example, number 21 that you finish with the gray, you see those two plus the rest at the other side, is this one after the marker, is exactly net with the main color. It's very straightforward. So the number 21 is 3 of the main color, 3 gray, 15, I think it's 15, 1, 2, 3, or 14, I think it's 14, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 1 gray, and the rest of the main color. And the way back, you see, when you pass the marker, you will have 2 of the main color, 1 gray, 14 yellow, 1 gray, and then the rest of the main color. And the way back is exactly the same. 5 of the main color, 1 gray, 14 yellow, 1 gray, 2 of the main color. And 24 is 1 of the main color, 1 gray, 15 of yellow, 1 gray, and the rest of the main color. And number 25 is exactly like number 24, but on the right side. And 26, we start working a little bit more gray, a little bit less yellow, and as you work, you'll have less yellow until the end. 3 of the main color. 1, 2, and 3. I'm going to change to the gray. 1, 2. You see how that yellow is big? It's because it's loose here. 3 gray. I'm gonna leave this one behind. Take gray to this side. Then with the yellow, we're gonna do 1, 2. And remember, the trick is not to trap the yarn in the same spot. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11, 12, 13, and 14. The space is because this one is low. No, because it's there. Look like you have a huge gap, but no. That's because this one was very loose. So now you're gonna do the rest with this color. And remember, in the way back, what you have to do is not to trap the strand, because you have to do 14 the same, not to trap them in the same spot. And you're gonna do the pearls with the yellow exactly as I showed you from the row before. I wanted to explain that in number 26 you don't want to start with a main color because you start with a gray right away. So 2 gray, 1 yellow, 1 gray, 1 yellow, 1 gray, quite a few yellow, 1 gray, and the rest with the main color. And then 27 the same, you're going to finish with the gray you don't have in those 2 main color in between the marker. Now here in 29, I'm gonna cut the yellow, leaving a tail long enough because I only have to do one more stitch and I have enough tail to secure later. And this one on the back, I'm gonna cut because I don't want to use this one anymore. I'm gonna continue working just with this one from the beginning. So I'm gonna do the last round with color work as number 30. I'm gonna do 10 of the main color and one gray, one the main color, one gray, main color, 3 gray, and the rest of the main color. And then in 31, I'll let you know how you're gonna continue the rest of the hat. I finished row 30. I'm gonna work on 31. I'm gonna knit just a few stitches to have enough room to measure and let you know what you're gonna do next. We done our color work and it look amazing. For my first time, something like this, it look just like the graph. So it looked like a huge hat, but remember we're gonna fold these one by one rib in half. And I'm gonna fold it all the way to cover the red, just in there, right in half. And I'm gonna measure. I have 8 inches. If this was for, let's say for William, that he is like 8 years old clothes size, I will have to work probably 4 row more, net, purl, and then I will do the decrease. But since this is for an adult, I have to have almost 9 inches, so I will work a little over ½ inches more, and give or take, I will be measuring as I work. Maybe for William 2 more row, and maybe for adult just 4 row. But after that, we'll do the decrease. To make this smaller, I don't know how you can make this for a younger kid, because if you remove some other rows here, it will look smaller, and maybe it will look a little bit, but it will be not the same. The only thing that I can recommend is smaller size needle, is smaller, thinner yarn, and maybe this will be smaller. But this, for a kid 8 years old and older, an adult, is perfect, this design. So I'm gonna do those net around, row, net, purl, and I will be measuring, and I'll let you know how many row extra I'll have to do, just with the main color, and you can remove your markers. I did only 4 rows. Now I'm gonna do, I have the length that I want. I'm gonna do decrease. I have to do 3 more rows. That will give extra length. I'm gonna do 2 together, 2 together, 2 together, and then net stitch, and then I'll come back with a purl row, no decrease, and then when I have to net again, I will do 2 together, 2 together. So if you have the length and you have to work a purl row, you purl 2 together, but mine is net 2 together until the end. And then I will go back with the purl row, no decrease, and then I will do a net row with decrease again. I did an extra decrease row because I had too many stitches and I left the tail long enough for sewing. So I'm gonna pass that tail through those stitches and I'm gonna close the hat. I'm gonna start sewing it until the place of the border that I'm gonna flip. I'm gonna sew this through the outside and then I will go into the inside and finish the brim like that through the inside. That way you have a nice finish in this side. But you see, once you fold the hat in half like this, don't look as huge I was looking when I was working. When you're gonna close the circumference here on the top, close the top of the hat, make sure when you pass your needle through, you pass wrapping the leg, otherwise this will come undone. Now you're gonna secure all these ends. Make sure that you tug them a little bit before you do that. That way the size of the stitch stay the same size as the other one in the other side. So you're gonna secure them on your work, you know, like the red and the red, the gray around the gray, the white around the white, and so on. And then I'll turn my work around and I'll show you the end result. Well, this is the end result and I absolutely love this hat. It's so realistic and it's, you know, amazing that it's my first time doing something like this, and it's not bad for my first time. I know the video is a little bit long, but I like to explain every single row, every single detail of this beautiful design, and I hope you guys like it, and give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you are not already a subscriber and you make this beautiful design. And you want to send me some pictures, you can do it through my Facebook page, Ruby Ne Crochet Tejido, or my Instagram, Ruby Ne Crochet Tejido. Please share my video with friends and family and in groups. That way you help me grow here on YouTube. I wish you have a beautiful day. Bye.